Hi everyone, and welcome to the third video of the Catalan. And in this video I want to cover, so getting into the Catalan position, I want to cover a variation that has quite a lot of responses. So I'll probably only, after dxc4, so that's the first fork in the road, which is what we've been looking at in other videos as well. We're looking at c5 here. And after castles, there's quite a few responses for black here. So let's have a look at them. There's c takes d4, and then knight takes d4. C taking d4 is one option after castles. So that's one thing we're going to look at. And from here, there's quite a few options for black. So I want to touch on all of them if possible. There's knight a6. There's knight d5, bishop to c5, and queen b6, and finally a6. So a fair few options after c5 and c takes. And the one other thing I want to have a look at in this video, so instead of c takes d4 here, there's the simple option of knight c6. So I want to have a look at all that stuff fairly quickly. I don't want to take too long studying the variations, because I think it's quite a lot of potential variations just for this c5 move, and I think it's more so important to just check out sort of what we should be scared of and what we shouldn't, and how we should move our pieces generally. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the c takes d4, and then after knight takes d4, the first variation I'm going to have a look at is this knight a6 option. And from here's white, we're playing, so what can we say about this in general, and often the Catalan, as we've seen in the previous videos as well, is we're often going to get this material back. That's the point, that's one thing we shouldn't be worried about. So we don't want to spend, we don't want to be stressed over that. We're confident we're going to get it back. But anyway, moving forward, there's this, the next move is queen takes d1, and after rook takes d1, there's knight d5, and we play knight to c3, and we're 10 moves deep here. But what's going to happen is we're likely going to get our pawn back with our rook at some point, and the game will continue nicely. But if you look at this position, I think I'm sure I'd much rather be playing white here than black. Computer has this as a solid one pawn up. Right, so that's this position, and the second one, so we just had a look at knight a3, and now I want to have a look at knight to d5. It's the second variation. So after this, we're using our queen, and this is in other videos we've seen it, and in quite a few variations we're using our queen to recapture the material. So that queen to a4 move is definitely something to keep in mind. Even in variations where if you think what's the correct thing to do exactly, often this isn't bad anyway. So it's definitely worth keeping in mind. After knight d7, queen takes c4, and then black plays knight d7, 7 to b6, and then we're playing queen b3, dropping it back just to sort of an active spot, with influence on the center, b file, b2 on the b7 square, etc. So generally these sort of squares aren't bad for the queen in the Catalan as well. So there's b3. So that's that variation. We're 10 moves deep there. So I want to move back here slightly. So instead of knight d5, so we just looked at that one, and we've looked at that one. I want to have a look at now bishop to c5. So sorry to rush through these, but I want to look at more general moves that keep recurring again here, which is queen a4, and after the black move, for black pieces, queen d7, queen to d7. We're playing, actually, this is Borisov Rook considers this a key move, knight to b5. So firstly, exchanging queens here is really not very good. The computer really doesn't like it. So it gives black a developing move, and also it's it makes getting this material back potentially difficult. So this knight to b5 is a little bit of a threatening move. But in any event, moving forward, after we play knight to b5, black castles, so we were of course threatening that stuff with check, etc. And we're just taking the material, queen c4, and that's 10 moves deep. So that was that variation, and now that was the bishop c5 variation. So same response we've done with the queen move for a lot of them, and now another response I want to look at is queen b6, and so we play queen a4 again, the exact same move, bishop to d7, and then we're taking the material immediately. And then after knight a6, we're playing queen b3 here. So maybe a little bit strange looking, but black normally doesn't accept the queen trade, but it's a good spot for the queen, that queen b3. Alright, so that's that variation. Again, the same stuff. So we're seeing pretty much the same stuff all around here. So it's not too confusing to remember. The final, I think it's the final variation here I want to have a look at is a6. So here we play knight c3, and then e5, and from this position we're playing knight to c2, and after the exchange of queens we're 10 moves deep here, but this sort of maneuver to get back the material, bishop out, that sort of stuff, and really strong, really playable position with an advantage for white. Now the last thing I want to have a look at here is, sorry, that's a bit far, but after c5, so these are the variants we're looking at. This c5, of course. There was we had a look at all the c takes d4 variations just then. So what can I say in summary? Well, queen a4 is commonly useful, and in general, of course, recapturing with the knight and just sort of natural moves can get you in good positions. Now the other thing I want to have a look at here, instead of c takes d5, sorry about all the arrows, is knight c6 as another option. And to this we're playing queen a4 again, and this pin is often very good as well. And from here there's a few options for black, so let's get into them. There's bishop d7, taking the material, very standard, and there's now a couple options for black. There's rook to c8, and there's c takes d4. So let's have a quick look at rook c8. After this we're playing d takes c5, and then after queen a5 we're simply playing bishop g5. Bishop g5 is often a move in the Catalan, and quite interesting sort of position where black was slow to do anything on the d4 pawn we just ended up taking as white. Alright, so that was rook c8. Now I want to have a look at c takes d4 instead of rook c8 here. So instead of rook c8 here, I'm going to look at c takes d4, and remember this all came from the knight c6 variation, so I'll do a quick recap after this. But after c takes d4 we're playing knight to d4, common piece we're using to recapture on d4, so we can keep that in mind. Then after rook c8, we're playing knight c3, so just logical standard sort of moves. The final thing I want to have a look at in this video is instead of bishop d7 here, there's also the option for just c takes d4, and we're taking d4 with the knight, and after queen takes d4 we're playing
check,
bishop takes c6. So fairly interesting sort of line. And then of course black's not going to play this move
Check.
because queen takes c6, and then we're picking up the rook, so we're picking up this exchange. But what black will play is bishop to d7, and from here we've got rook d1, and yeah, the position goes on. So I just want to have a look at a summary of what I had a look at in this quick video. We had a look at c5 as the main variant for all of these options. So yeah, I was having a look at c5, but it teaches us a lot about other variations as well. And we had a look at today after c takes d4. Yeah, we're playing knight takes d4, and we're playing that whether c takes d4 is delayed or initial. And then we had a look at all these options, and and the other thing we had a look at was, instead of c takes d4, so backing up slightly, we had a look at knight c6. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Just wanted to keep that one short, but I've got maybe 1 or 2 more videos of the Catalan left, and then I'm quite excited because we'll get to the Slav, and yeah, the future, the Slav, the Queen's Gambit, all that sort of stuff is not going to be nearly as long. Sort of the Catalan's very chunky, so quite a bit to get through, but I hope you're trying this opening. I hope you're getting confident with it, and I'm looking forward to next video. Thanks very much.